If you're struggling with working out songs by ear, I have finally cracked the code where you can easily work out songs both in major and minor, simply just using 6 chords, a capo, and 0 theory knowledge. This is a solution I wish I knew years after trying the hit and hope method. So let's grab our guitars and let's begin. So the first thing we need to make sure we're doing is we're in tune. Just standard tuning, E, A, D, G, B, and E. And the next thing we need to do is understand how to play all the chords within the key of C major. So the only 6 chords you need are C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, and A minor. Next bit of information we need to know is where the root notes are. Now the reason why we're learning about the root notes is when we're hearing a chord progression, it's much easier to just hear or try and work out the bass note first. So when we look at that, we have C, which is just the 3rd fret of the A, open D, open E, 1st fret of the E string for F, 3rd fret of the E string, which is G, and then an open A. Okay, so the next thing to talk about is capos. Now I've got a few capos here. You can use any capo you like, whatever you've got. Some are good, some are bad, but today I'll be using this capo. This is made by a company called Page, and I'll put a link in the description below. So now we're armed with our capo, our chords, and our root notes. It's time to work out some music. Stage 1, put the track on and figure out where the home note is. Okay, so now I'm going to start with the open A. No. 1st fret. No. 2nd fret. That sounds okay. I don't think it's the root note though. So keep going. Okay, that sounds okay as well. No, that's not. So that's the 1st chord we're hearing there. That's definitely not right, so I want to keep going. No, definitely not. That's weird. Could be that one actually. Let's go back. Oh, actually that could be it. Let me go again. So D sounds good. B, C sound alright. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's pause it. Okay, so now I've found the root note. Now I'm going to go count 3 frets back. 1, 2, 3, which is the 7th. This is where I'm going to put my capo. Okay, so the capo slides all the way up. Now if I put a C major chord on, C major shape, hopefully that's going to sound like the first track. So let's make sure that is the right key, because it could be a minor chord. Just by hearing that, I think that sounds pretty good. So let's have a listen with that chord, and then we move on from there. Okay, I think that sounds pretty good. Now the next thing is working out the 2nd chord. What I like to do is just listen to that 2nd note and try to pitch or hum, or in your head just think of that, where that root note is. Does it go lower? Does it go higher? Take an educated guess, but what I would suggest you do, try and really listen out for that bass note, and that's what we're trying to pitch. Okay, so let's have a listen. I am no singer, by the way, and you'll hear that in a second if I attempt to sing that root note. So be warned. So there's our first note. Now we're just trying to listen to that next interval. Ready? So I think that's definitely lower than those notes. Do, not G. Do, that could be it. Oh, okay. So I think I've got it. So I think that's F, right? So logically speaking, that should work if I play, remember our chords, C, D minor, E minor, F major. So that should be an F, in theory. Okay, so I'm now going to try that. Hey, there we go. Hear that going back to the 1 chord. I think it just stays the same again. Okay, so now we've got warmed up with that, let's have a look at another song. Ooh, a bit darker this one. So again, listen for this note. Is that right? Not the first note of the sequence. No, no. Sounds quite good. Oh, okay. Quite happy with that. Let's have a listen again. Yeah. Pause. Again, we're going to take the same approach. So we play the root note, we go down 3 frets, which is fret number 5, and that's where we place our capo. Now if I play a C, that sounds pretty good to me. Let's see, this is our 3rd chord in the sequence, then it goes back to chord 1. Now I know what you might be thinking, what about if it's minor? We'll have a look at that in a sec, but for now let's just work out these 3 chords. So again, we're going to take that same approach. And I think that goes do, 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 lower. Yeah, I think I'm quite happy with that. That's an open A string. So when we're thinking about our chords, C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor. Let's see if that's an A minor. I'm just going to go back a little bit more. Yes. That sounds a lot lower, that one, doesn't it? So C, A minor, and this one. Boo, boo, boo. No, no. Might be E. Let's have a listen again. Oh, cool. Okay, so that sounds like an E. So again, C, D minor, E minor. So let's try that. C, A minor, E minor. So we have step 1, work out the root note. That's it, we're good. Step 2, place the capo 3 frets below. Step 3 would be then to strum the actual chord. And step number 4 is to then figure out the 2nd chord. There we go. So I know you're asking, and you're probably shouting at the screens right now, what if it's minor? Just listening to it, get a feel for it. Trying to hum that first note would always help, okay? Just hearing those bass notes go. Don't like it go down. So you're kind of recalling kind of where the notes kind of fit to you, okay? Where they kind of sound like if they're going up or down. But the first note, like I said before, is the key normally. So let's try and hum that note and let's try and find it on the A string. Okay, that sounds close to that, so listen. Okay, so yeah, that's the C, which is the 3rd fret of the A string. Now, if I played C major, which obviously, if we went down 3 frets, would be an open string, we wouldn't need a capo, we would just play a C major. Okay, let's see if that works. No, not at all. Okay, well that's weird because obviously our root note is definitely a C, but the C major does not work. So you might be thinking, well, how's your system, Dean? How's that going to work? Well, what you do, you would then put the capo on the 3rd fret. Okay, so let's put that on there. Now, you're not going to play a C major because then again that would sound really, really weird. Our root note is the open A string. Now when we go back to our chords C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, the chord that has an open A string is A minor. So that's the idea. We're then playing an A minor chord. And we're still going to be using C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor. So in theory, that first chord should be an A minor now. So let's double check and then we'll move on from there. Sounds better. Okay, next chord. Don't know what that was. That was my phone speaking to me. Let me just switch that off. One sec. So now we've got that A minor shape, it's now time to work out the next bass note. So let's have a listen and try and hum the next root note. Here we go. Still the same. Do. So I think it goes lower. Okay, cool. So I think that's an A. Then we go to first fret of the E, which is F, then open. So I'm hoping if that all works, we have an A minor chord. As it's the first fret of the E, we are then playing an F. And it's an open E string, and we've got an E minor. That sounds about right. Okay, then let's just double check. Yes.
Life is not always still. Find your way back.
Excellent. So when you try this method, there is going to be a few times where you're trying to work out something, and this thing is just not going to work. That's why with my Patreon supporters, I'm going to be giving weekly guided tracks. You just songs to try and work out, and then you can message me with your answer, and I could say yes or no. Okay, so it's a really valuable way of training your ear. So if that's something you're interested in, check out the link in the description. I'm going to show you another example that you might stumble across where you do both these things but they both don't work. So about 80% of your songs will use this capo, either with if it's major you go down 3 frets with the capo, or if it's minor you put the capo on the fret. But let's take this one example now. I'll explain more in a second, it will make more sense, trust me. So let's have a listen to the song first. Okay, so I'm hearing dunk, 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 2 chords in that, and they sound quite close together. Let's try and figure out where that chord is, that first one. Do, do, do. Okay. So 7th fret. Now it definitely sounds quite happy, right? So we've got the 7th fret there, which is our root. Now if I go down 3 frets and put my capo on, I get the 4th fret. Okay, so place that on there. Now if I play a C major chord, C major shape, sorry. That's the sound, right? Let's double check. Okay, but then after that, it's not C to D minor. Is it C to A minor? No, C to G. C to F. C to E minor. That's weird. So that's when the next rule comes in. So if you get a track like this, probably about 15% maybe of tracks that you'll come across will have this. That's just a rough guide. I don't really know the exact calculations of what songs are in diatonic chord progressions or not, but this is diatonic. That's the thing. But it's, without going into too much theory again, this is a modal track. probably wants its own video. What we do, we work it out on the E string. So an E note on the E string is obviously open, or the 12th fret. Now if we put it on the 12th fret, we take that same rule, go down 3 frets. I'm going to play a G chord shape now. That sounds the same. But let's see if we got different options now. So we could go G, C, G. It sounds quite close, doesn't it? I mean, it would go da, da, da. It sounds like it goes lower, that second note. So that was probably a bad guess going to C, G, C, G, because the C's obviously higher. All right. So let's try going G, F, G. All right. So that'd be, and that sounds better, doesn't it? So G, F, G. That's quite hard to fret up that high. Not ideal. That sounds right. Let's try that. There we go. And if you're interested, that song is actually in a Mixolydian mode. You don't have to know that, but that's what it is. So yeah, there we go. A bit of theory. I do apologise, but yeah, I really hope that's helped. And there's lots more videos to come from this channel, and it's going to be aimed at players that are really wanting to sort of iron out their skills, and basically want you to get from being able to play just in your bedroom to on the stage. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel. The next thing to really know is the notes on the guitar and bar chords. And I've done 2 videos. I've done one on notes on the guitar, which are up here, and then one up here, which is basically an easy way of playing bar chords, how to not play bar chords but still generate that same sound. And if any of those 2 things intrigue you, go and click on those videos, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. I just realised I'm still wearing these silly cans, and yeah, do I look like Ed Sheeran now? Well, I might look a bit like him actually, but maybe not Tom York. I don't know. Let me know. Ciao.